Good evening. Tonight there is nowhere you need to rush. Nothing you need to solve. Nothing you need to remember. Only this quiet moment and a story that begins beneath a silver moon. So, allow your breathing to become a little slower. Let your shoulders soften. And if your eyes begin to grow heavy, that is exactly where this journey is meant to lead. Far beyond the clouds, beyond the highest mountains, beyond every place shown on any map, there is a place that appears only after midnight. No airplanes fly above it. No ships can ever reach it. No telescope has ever found it. Yet every single night, someone arrives there. No one remembers making the journey. They simply fall asleep. And somehow, their dreams carry them to a quiet little building with glowing windows. A place known only as the Moon Post Office. It is not a large building. In fact, it looks almost ordinary. Its walls are made of pale white stone that seems to glow gently beneath the moonlight. Tiny silver vines climb around each window. Soft golden lanterns hang beside the wooden door. And above the entrance, a small clock quietly ticks. Curiously, the clock has only one hand. No numbers, no minutes, no hours. Only a single silver hand, slowly circling forever. No one knows what it measures. Perhaps dreams, perhaps hope, or perhaps the peaceful moments between waking and sleeping. Around the post office, thousands of glowing flowers bloom without making a sound. Their petals shimmer like tiny stars. Whenever a letter arrives, the flowers gently sway, as though whispering a welcome. There is never any wind, only silence. Comfortable, gentle, endless silence. Inside the post office, the air smells faintly of old paper, warm tea, fresh rain, and something impossible to describe. Perhaps the scent of forgotten memories. Rows of wooden shelves stretch across every wall. Each shelf is filled with envelopes. Some are tiny, some are enormous. Some sparkle softly, others glow with pale blue light. Not one envelope has a stamp, not one has an address. Instead, each carries only a single name, a name that belongs to someone who is peacefully asleep somewhere on earth. No one writes these letters, at least not while they are awake. Every evening, as millions of people drift into sleep, their quiet hopes, forgotten wishes, gentle memories, and unfinished dreams become letters. Without anyone noticing, those letters float silently into the night sky. One by one, they find their way to the Moon Post Office. Waiting inside is the night's postmaster. He is an elderly gentleman with kind eyes, soft silver hair, and a long midnight blue coat covered with tiny embroidered stars. No one knows his real name. Everyone simply calls him Mr. Lumen. He has never been in a hurry, not once. Each letter is picked up carefully, turned gently in his hands, smiled at, then placed into the perfect wooden drawer. Some letters are delivered immediately, others wait. Not because they are forgotten, but because every dream has its perfect moment. Mr. Lumen believes a dream delivered too early may never bloom, and a dream delivered too late may quietly disappear. So he waits patiently, night after night, year after year, century after century, without complaint, without loneliness, because someone always arrives, always. Tonight, that someone is you. You do not remember walking here. You only remember opening your eyes, standing quietly before the glowing wooden door. The lantern beside it flickers gently, as though it has been expecting you. Your footsteps make no sound. The wooden floor feels warm beneath your feet, almost welcoming. As you step inside, a tiny silver bell rings once, not loudly, only enough for Mr. Lumen to look up from his desk. He smiles, not with surprise, but with recognition. "Ah," he says softly, "you finally arrived." You wonder, have you been here before? His smile grows a little wider. Everyone asks that question. He pours a warm cup of tea. Steam rises slowly into the peaceful room. Outside, the moon shines brighter. The flowers continue their silent dance. And somewhere high above, thousands of tiny envelopes drift gently across the night sky, each carrying a dream, searching patiently for the one heart it belongs to. Mr. Lumen reaches beneath the desk. He removes a single envelope unlike any other. It is made of shimmering silver paper. Across the front, there is only one name. Your name. He places it carefully on the wooden table, but does not open it. Instead, he looks toward the quiet window and whispers with a gentle smile, "Not yet. Some letters must wait until the dreamer is truly ready." And just as you begin to wonder, what could possibly be inside your mysterious letter, the single-handed clock above the door moves forward for the very first time. The single hand of the silver clock moved only the smallest distance. Yet the entire Moon post office seemed to notice. The lanterns glowed a little brighter. The shelves gave a gentle wooden sigh. Even the glowing flowers outside leaned quietly toward the windows, as though they had been waiting for that single moment. Mr. Lumen watched the clock without saying a word. His calm smile remained exactly the same. Then, he slowly stood from his chair. "The clock has accepted your arrival," he whispered. "It almost never moves for first-time visitors." You looked again at the silver envelope resting on the desk. Your name shimmered softly across its surface. It seemed almost alive. For just a moment, you thought the letters were gently breathing. You reached out. But before your fingers touched the envelope, Mr. Lumen spoke kindly. Not yet. There are a few things every dream traveler must see first. Without another word, he picked up a small lantern. Unlike the others, its light was not golden. It glowed with a quiet blue light, like moonlight resting on fresh snow. He motioned for you to follow. The hallway beyond the office felt much larger than it had appeared from outside. Each step echoed softly. Yet the sound disappeared almost immediately, as though the walls themselves wished to keep every secret. Along both sides of the corridor, tiny wooden doors stretched into the distance. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of them. No two doors looked exactly alike. Some were painted deep blue, some were silver. Others were carved from pale white wood that shimmered gently. Every door carried a tiny brass plate. Instead of numbers, each displayed a single word: hope, wonder, courage, home, tomorrow, forgiveness. You noticed one door simply labeled almost. What is this place? You asked quietly. Mr. Lumen smiled. This is where forgotten letters wait. Letters that were never quite ready to be delivered. You frowned slightly. Forgotten by whom? Not forgotten, he answered gently. Simply waiting for the perfect night. He stopped before an old silver door. The brass plate read, Childhood. The lantern in his hand glowed a little brighter. Slowly, he opened the door. Inside, the room stretched far beyond what seemed possible. Shelves curved upward into darkness. Millions of envelopes rested peacefully in perfect rows. Some were tiny enough to fit in your hand. Others were almost as large as books. The room was completely silent, except for a soft whisper. Not words, more like distant memories, floating gently through the air. You walked between the shelves. Each envelope carried only a single name. Different handwriting, different colors, different sizes. One envelope suddenly shimmered. Its silver seal slowly opened by itself. A tiny glowing feather floated into the air. It drifted peacefully around the room, before disappearing like morning mist. What was that? You whispered. A dream that finally found its dreamer, said Mr. Lumen. It has been waiting for 43 years. You stopped walking. 43 years? He nodded. Some dreams arrive very early. They simply need patience. His voice carried no sadness, only certainty. You continued deeper into the room. The air became warmer. The scent of old paper mixed with lavender, fresh rain, and something sweet, like warm honey, far away. A tiny bell rang once. Several envelopes shimmered together. Then everything became still again. At the center of the room stood a single wooden table. Upon it rested one enormous book. Its cover was made of deep midnight blue leather. No title, no decoration, only a silver moon embossed in the center. Mr. Lumen carefully opened the book. Its pages appeared completely blank. "You see nothing," he said softly. "But every visitor sees something different." You looked closer. At first, only empty pages. Then, slowly, silver words began appearing, one line at a time, as though invisible ink had awakened. You leaned closer. The page did not show a story. It showed moments. A small child laughing beneath falling autumn leaves. Someone watching the first snowfall from a bedroom window. The smell of warm bread. The sound of rain against glass. A hand reaching for another. A quiet goodbye. Tiny moments. Simple moments. Beautiful moments. None of them lasted longer than a few seconds, yet each one filled the room with an unexpected feeling of peace. "What is this book?" you whispered. Mr. Lumen gently turned another page. "The book of gentle things. It remembers every beautiful moment that someone believed had been forgotten forever." You stood silently. The pages continued turning by themselves. Each memory glowed softly, then disappeared. None of them stayed. None of them needed to. Suddenly, the lantern flickered. Just once. Mr. Lumen looked toward the far end of the room. His peaceful expression changed ever so slightly. Not to fear, but to quiet curiosity. In the deepest corner, beyond the endless shelves, a single envelope had begun to glow. Not silver, not blue, but pure golden light. Mr. Lumen whispered almost to himself, "That letter, it has never awakened before." And for the very first time, the ancient postmaster looked genuinely surprised. For several long moments, neither you nor Mr. Lumen moved. The golden envelope rested quietly on the highest shelf, its warm light spreading gently across the endless room. Every other letter remained perfectly still. Silver, blue, white. They all seemed ordinary now. Only the golden one continued to glow, as though it had been waiting for someone. Mr. Lumen lifted his blue lantern. Its soft light flickered once, almost as if it were greeting the mysterious envelope. "I have worked here for longer than most stars have watched the earth," he whispered, "and I have never seen that letter awaken." His voice was calm, but filled with quiet wonder. You slowly stepped closer. The shelves seemed taller now. The room somehow felt larger than before. The closer you came, the softer everything became. Even your breathing sounded distant. When you finally stood beneath the glowing shelf, you noticed something unusual. Unlike every other envelope, there was no name written on it. No address, no seal, only a tiny golden moon, pressed gently into the paper. "What does it mean?" you asked. Mr. Lumen looked at it for a long moment before answering. "It means the letter has not chosen its dreamer yet." You frowned. "I thought every letter belonged to someone." "They usually do. But once in a great while, a letter is born before its dreamer is ready." Silence returned. Somewhere deep inside the endless shelves, a tiny bell rang once, then another. Then everything became quiet again. Mr. Lumen reached toward the envelope, but just before his fingers touched it, the letter slowly floated into the air by itself. It moved without haste, like a feather carried by invisible moonlight. You watched in amazement. The envelope drifted past Mr. Lumen, past the glowing shelves, and gently stopped. Right in front of you, it hovered there, without making a sound. You instinctively raised your hands. The envelope settled softly into your palms. It felt warm, not hot, just comfortably warm, like the first rays of morning sunlight through a window. For a brief moment, the tiny golden moon on its surface began to shimmer. Then, words slowly appeared, not written by ink, but formed from light itself. The words read, "When the final dream is forgotten, the journey begins." You read the sentence twice. It sounded beautiful, yet mysterious. "What does it mean?" you whispered. Mr. Lumen shook his head gently. "I do not know. I have learned that some answers should never be hurried." As quickly as they had appeared, the glowing words faded away. The envelope became completely blank once more, almost as though nothing had happened. Mr. Lumen smiled. "It has shown you more than it has ever shown anyone else." Carefully, he placed the golden envelope inside a small wooden box lined with soft blue velvet. He did not lock it. He simply closed the lid. "The time for opening it has not yet arrived." You nodded quietly, although part of you wished to know what secret rested inside. Mr. Lumen turned toward another hallway. "Come. There is one more place I would like you to see before dawn." The two of you left the room of forgotten letters. The hallway felt different now. The little wooden doors seemed brighter. As you passed them, you noticed new words engraved on the brass plates. Kindness, patience, wonder, second chances, the first goodbye. Each door seemed to hold an entire lifetime within it. Eventually, you arrived before a tall, circular window. Beyond the glass, the night sky stretched endlessly. Thousands, perhaps millions, of glowing envelopes floated silently through the stars. Some moved quickly, others drifted slowly. None of them ever collided. Every letter seemed to know exactly where it belonged. "They are beautiful," you whispered. Mr. Lumen nodded. Every night, millions of people believe they are simply sleeping, but their dreams are traveling. The Moon Post Office only helps them find the way home. You stood quietly beside him, watching the glowing letters cross the heavens. It was peaceful, comforting, almost impossible to leave. Just then, a tiny white bird landed on the windowsill. It was unlike any bird you had ever seen. Its feathers shimmered like moonlight. Its eyes reflected tiny stars. Around one delicate leg was tied a silver ribbon. The bird looked directly at Mr. Lumen. Then, it softly chirped only once. Mr. Lumen's gentle smile slowly faded. He untied the ribbon with great care. Attached to it was the smallest letter you had ever seen, no larger than a single leaf. He unfolded it silently, read just one line, then closed his eyes. For the first time since you had met him, he looked saddened, not frightened, not worried, simply deeply thoughtful. You waited patiently. After a long silence, he folded the tiny letter once again. The moon has requested a special delivery. His voice was almost a whisper. That has not happened for many, many years. You looked toward him. A special delivery? Mr. Lumen nodded. There is a dream so old that even the stars have almost forgotten its owner. Outside, one brilliant star slowly crossed the sky. The tiny white bird spread its glowing wings and disappeared into the endless night. Mr. Lumen picked up his blue lantern once more. Its light had become brighter than ever before. He looked at you with the same calm smile. I believe this journey was waiting for you all along. Then he gently opened the front door of the Moon Post Office, and together you stepped into the silent silver night, ready to search for the oldest forgotten dream in the world. The moment you stepped outside, the quiet felt different. Inside the Moon Post Office, the silence had been warm, like a blanket wrapped around a peaceful dream. But outside, the silence stretched farther than the stars themselves. Above you, the moon seemed larger than before. Its silver light covered everything, not brightly, but gently, as though the night wished not to wake anyone sleeping on Earth. Mr. Lumen lifted his blue lantern. Its soft glow spilled onto the ground, and something extraordinary happened. A narrow silver path slowly appeared. It had not been there a moment earlier. Tiny stones shimmered beneath your feet, each one glowing like a fallen star. The road only appears, Mr. Lumen said softly, when someone truly needs to walk it. You followed him. Each step felt strangely light. There was no wind, no cold, only the peaceful rhythm of your footsteps. On both sides of the path, tall silver grass swayed without a breeze. Thousands of tiny lights floated above it. At first, you thought they were fireflies. But when one drifted close, you realized it was something else. Inside each glowing light was a tiny moving picture. A little boy laughing while flying a kite. An old woman smiling beside a fireplace. A father lifting his daughter toward the stars. Each glowing light carried a happy memory. "They're beautiful," he whispered. Mr. Lumen smiled. "These are joyful moments people forgot they still carried. They never disappear. They simply wait to be remembered." One glowing memory floated close to your shoulder. For just a second, you felt the warmth of sunshine, heard distant laughter, and smelled fresh bread cooling on a windowsill. Then, the memory drifted away into the night. You couldn't explain why, but your heart felt lighter. The silver path continued. Minutes passed, or perhaps hours. Time felt different here. Eventually, you noticed something in the distance. A bridge. It floated in the sky. There were no ropes, no pillars, no river beneath it. Only clouds. The bridge stretched across the moonlit sky, as though connecting two forgotten dreams. Every step upon it released a faint silver glow. Before reaching the bridge, Mr. Lumen stopped. "There is someone who watches this crossing." He raised the blue lantern slightly. A soft bell echoed through the night. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then, a figure slowly emerged from the mist. An elderly woman, wearing a long cloak woven from tiny silver feathers. Her hair shone like fresh snow. In her hands, she carried a lantern that glowed with pale golden light. She smiled the moment she saw Mr. Lumen. "You've come farther than expected," she said gently. "And you've brought the traveler." Mr. Lumen bowed politely. "As the moon requested." The woman looked toward you. Her eyes were kind, yet filled with ancient wisdom. She reached into a small pocket. From it, she removed a tiny silver feather. She placed it carefully in your hand. "If you ever feel lost, hold this feather. It will always remember the way home." The feather felt almost weightless. Before you could thank her, she simply smiled, then stepped aside. "You may cross." As you walked onto the bridge, you looked down. Instead of water, you saw thousands of sleeping cities far below. Their lights twinkled softly. Somewhere, children dreamed. Somewhere, an old musician slept peacefully. Somewhere, someone wished for tomorrow to be kinder than today. Millions of dreams, all quietly rising toward the moon post office, halfway across the bridge. The golden wooden box in Mr. Lumen's satchel suddenly began to glow. The mysterious letter inside had awakened again. He stopped walking, slowly opened the lid. The golden envelope floated upward, just a few inches. Its surface shimmered. This time, new words appeared. "The keeper of the first dream is waiting." The message lasted only a heartbeat, then vanished. Mr. Lumen closed the box carefully. "The journey is changing," he whispered. "We are no longer searching only for an old dream. We are being guided." The two of you continued across the bridge. On the other side, the landscape had changed completely. Instead of silver grass, there was a vast field filled with enormous white flowers. Each flower was taller than a person. Their petals glowed softly beneath the moon. The air carried the gentle scent of vanilla and rain. Everything felt calm. Everything felt safe. Then, a quiet sound reached your ears. Not footsteps, not wind, a melody. Someone, very far away, was humming a lullaby. The tune was slow, beautiful, strangely familiar. You had never heard it before. And yet, it felt as though you had known it your entire life. Mr. Lumen became perfectly still. He listened carefully, then smiled. "I know that song." His voice was barely louder than the breeze that wasn't there. "It hasn't been sung for hundreds of years." He lifted the blue lantern higher. Far across the glowing field, a single warm light appeared. Someone was waiting, and somehow, deep inside your heart, you already knew. This meeting would change everything. The warm light in the distance remained perfectly still. It did not flicker. It did not grow brighter. It simply waited, as though it had known you would arrive tonight. Mr. Lumen walked forward at his usual gentle pace. "There is no need to hurry," he said softly. "The oldest dreams have already learned the meaning of patience." The field of glowing white flowers stretched endlessly around you. Every few moments, a petal would quietly drift into the air. Instead of falling to the ground, it floated upward toward the moon. You watched them disappear into the night. "They're beautiful," you whispered. "They are finished dreams," Mr. Lumen replied. "When a dream finally brings peace to someone's heart, its flower returns its light to the sky." The melody grew a little clearer. Someone was still humming, slow, gentle, almost like a lullaby sung to the stars themselves. Soon, a small cottage appeared among the flowers. Its walls were built from pale white stone. The roof shimmered like moonlight resting on snow. Tiny lanterns hung from every window. None of them used fire. Each glowed with a calm silver light. Outside the cottage, an elderly woman sat quietly in a wooden rocking chair. Her long silver hair reached almost to the ground. A soft white cat slept peacefully beside her feet. The woman smiled before either of you spoke. "I've been expecting you." Her voice was warm enough to make every worry feel smaller. Mr. Lumen bowed respectfully. "It has been many years, Lady Alara." She nodded gently. "Far too many." Her eyes slowly turned toward you. For a moment, it felt as though she could see every dream you had ever dreamed. Not in a frightening way, only with kindness. "So," she whispered, "the moon has chosen another traveler." You weren't sure what to say. Instead, you simply smiled. Lady Alara stood slowly. Although she looked very old, every movement was graceful. She opened the cottage door. "Come inside." The room was peaceful. A small fireplace glowed softly without producing smoke. Books lined every wall. Hundreds of tiny glass bottles rested upon wooden shelves. Inside each bottle, a tiny silver light floated quietly. "What are they?" you asked. Lady Alara picked up one bottle carefully. "The very first dreams," she smiled. "Not the first dreams of one person, the first dreams of humanity." You looked closer. The little silver light moved gently inside the glass. "It still dreams," she whispered. She returned the bottle to its place. Every beautiful idea, every act of kindness, every moment of hope was once only someone's dream. Mr. Lumen walked toward a round wooden table. In its center rested an enormous map. But it wasn't a map of countries, or oceans, or mountains. Instead, it showed glowing paths connecting millions of tiny stars. Lady Alara noticed your curiosity. "This is the map of sleeping hearts. Every glowing light is someone peacefully dreaming tonight." You stared in amazement. There were more lights than you could possibly count. Some glowed brightly, Others only faintly shimmered. One light near the center suddenly blinked, then another, then several more. Lady Alara's gentle smile slowly faded. That's unusual. Mr. Lumen leaned closer. The lights are disappearing, one by one. Tiny stars on the map quietly faded away. Not exploding, not breaking, simply vanishing. The room became silent. What does that mean? You asked. Lady Alara answered very quietly. It means someone is forgetting how to dream. She looked toward the golden box Mr. Lumen carried. The letter knew. Mr. Lumen carefully opened the lid. The golden envelope floated upward once again. Its surface shimmered more brightly than ever before. Slowly, a new message appeared. Find the child who lost the morning sky. The words remained for several seconds, then disappeared. Neither of them spoke. You looked from Mr. Lumen to Lady Alara. Who is the child? Lady Alara walked slowly toward the window. Outside, the moonlight covered the endless field. I don't know, she admitted softly, but I know one thing. No child should ever lose the morning sky. She opened a small wooden chest beside the fireplace. Inside rested dozens of tiny silver keys. Each key had a different shape. Some looked like stars, some like feathers, some like crescent moons. She selected one shaped like a small sunrise, then handed it to you. This key opens only one door, but it will reveal itself when the time is right. You held it carefully. It felt surprisingly warm, almost alive. The white cat beside the fireplace suddenly opened its eyes. It stood quietly, walked to the front door, and looked outside. Its ears lifted. It wasn't frightened. It was listening. Moments later, a faint sound echoed across the flower field. Not the lullaby, not the wind. Footsteps. Very small footsteps. Someone, or something, was slowly approaching the cottage through the glowing flowers. Lady Alara whispered, "Our guest has arrived, but I don't believe they came alone." The tiny footsteps drew closer. Soft, slow, almost too gentle to hear. The white cat quietly walked to the front door and sat beside it. Its golden eyes remained fixed on the moonlit field. No one spoke. The only sound was the steady crackle of the small fireplace. Then, a gentle knock echoed against the wooden door. Once, twice, 3 quiet taps. Lady Alara smiled. "Come in." The door opened by itself. Standing outside was a little boy. He couldn't have been older than 8 years. He wore a pale blue coat dusted with tiny silver stars. His dark hair moved gently, though there was no wind. Around his neck hung a small wooden compass. But something about him felt unusual. His eyes held no reflection, not of the moon, not of the lanterns, not even of the stars, only a quiet emptiness. The boy stepped inside. He looked around the room as though he had forgotten why he had come. Finally, his eyes met yours. "Excuse me," he whispered. "I think I've lost something." His voice was calm, polite, almost hopeful. Lady Alara knelt beside him. "What have you lost, little one?" The boy thought for a long moment. Then he answered, "I can't remember." The room became perfectly still. Mr. Lumen exchanged a quiet glance with Lady Alara. She gently placed a warm cup of tea into the boy's hands. He smiled, but he didn't drink it. Instead, he continued staring through the window at the endless night. After several minutes, He spoke again. I remember birds, and clouds, and sunlight on my bedroom floor. But, he lowered his head, I can't remember the morning sky. The words hung quietly in the air. Mr. Lumen slowly reached into his satchel. He removed the golden envelope. The moment the boy looked at it, the envelope shimmered. Golden letters appeared once more. The dreamer has been found. Then, for the first time, the envelope opened by itself. No one touched it. A single sheet of glowing paper floated gently into the air. Instead of falling, it unfolded like a tiny wing. Soft golden light filled the cottage. The paper contained only one sentence. The morning sky can only be returned by following the first sunrise. The message slowly faded. Lady Alara closed her eyes. The first sunrise. I haven't heard those words in centuries. You looked toward her. What is it? She smiled gently. It isn't a place. It's a memory. The very first sunrise ever dreamed. The little boy listened quietly. I don't understand. You don't need to, she answered kindly. Not yet. Mr. Lumen folded the glowing page. As soon as he touched it, it disappeared into tiny golden sparks. The envelope became empty once again. Outside, the flowers suddenly leaned toward the eastern horizon. Although it was still night, a faint golden glow had appeared in the distance. Not the sun. Something softer, older, almost forgotten. Lady Alara walked to a tall wooden cabinet. She opened its doors carefully. Inside rested 3 lanterns, one blue, one silver, and one made entirely of crystal. She lifted the crystal lantern with both hands. Its light was unlike anything you had ever seen. It shimmered with every color of dawn: pink, gold, soft lavender, gentle blue. It only shines, she whispered, when someone still believes every lost dream can be found. She handed the lantern to you. The moment your fingers touched its handle, the light became brighter. The little boy watched with wide eyes. Does that mean we're going together? Mr. Lumen smiled. If you would like to. The boy nodded immediately. I would. For the first time since arriving, a tiny reflection appeared in his eyes. Not of the room, not of the lantern, but of a pale golden sunrise. It lasted only a heartbeat. Lady Alara noticed. So it's true, she whispered. The morning sky is calling him home. The white cat stretched lazily, then walked toward the open door. It looked back once, as though inviting everyone to follow. Outside, the mysterious golden glow had become stronger. The silver path was changing. Instead of leading through the flower field, it now curved toward distant hills covered in shining mist. Mr. Lumen adjusted his blue lantern. You held the crystal lantern close. The little boy tightened his grip on the wooden compass around his neck. None of you knew exactly where the path would lead, but somehow, it already felt familiar. As the 3 of you stepped into the moonlit silence, a single voice echoed gently across the hills. It wasn't singing. It simply whispered, "Welcome back." The little boy suddenly stopped walking. He looked toward the glowing horizon. A single tear rolled gently down his cheek. Then he smiled. I know that voice, but I can't remember whose it is. The valley where dawn never ends. The 3 of you continued along the silver path. Mr. Lumen walked quietly in front. You carried the crystal lantern close to your heart. The little boy stayed beside you, his small wooden compass resting gently in his hands. The mysterious voice never spoke again. Yet, its warmth lingered in the air, as though the hills themselves remembered it. The mist grew thicker, not cold, not heavy, but soft enough to blur the edges of the world. Soon, the silver path disappeared beneath your feet. In its place, a trail of tiny golden leaves appeared. Each leaf glowed for only a moment, then faded as you stepped past it. "They're showing us the way," Mr. Lumen whispered. "No path in the dreamlands lasts forever after what felt like a peaceful hour." The mist slowly opened. Beyond it lay a breathtaking valley. There was no darkness there, yet there was no sun either. Instead, the entire valley glowed with the gentle colors of early morning. Soft pink skies, golden clouds, pale blue light. It looked like sunrise, frozen in time. The little boy gasped. "I've seen this before." His voice trembled. "I know I have." At the center of the valley stood an enormous tree. Its trunk was white as moonlight. Its branches reached high into the glowing sky. Instead of leaves, thousands of tiny glass feathers shimmered in the light. Whenever one feather drifted down, another quietly appeared. The tree never became empty. Mr. Lumen smiled. The tree of first mornings. The oldest living tree in the dreamlands. As you approached, you noticed something carved into its trunk. Hundreds of names, each one glowing faintly. Some looked ancient, others seemed newly written. The little boy searched the names carefully. Then suddenly, he froze. "My name," he whispered. "It's here." His fingers gently touched the glowing letters. The moment he did, the entire valley became brighter. Far above, hundreds of glass feathers lifted into the air together. They circled silently around the great tree. A gentle breeze, the first breeze you had felt all night, brushed across your face. Then, a single feather floated down. It landed softly in the boy's hands. The moment he held it, the wooden compass around his neck began to spin, faster and faster, until it finally stopped. The arrow pointed toward a small stone arch hidden behind the great tree. It was almost invisible beneath flowering vines. Mr. Lumen's expression grew thoughtful. "I've never seen that doorway before." The boy looked up. "Should we go?" Before anyone could answer, the stone arch slowly began to glow. Golden symbols appeared across its surface. Then, a voice echoed from within, not loud, not frightening, gentle, almost like a parent calling a child home. "The keeper of the morning sky is waiting." The little boy took a slow breath. "I think I've been here before." Mr. Lumen nodded. "I believe you're remembering." The crystal lantern in your hands suddenly became warm. Its light stretched toward the stone arch, as though inviting you forward. The white feather in the boy's hands shimmered. The carved names on the great tree glowed more brightly than ever. Everything around you had become perfectly still. It felt as though the entire valley was waiting for one small step. Mr. Lumen smiled kindly. "Some doors open because we find them." He looked toward the glowing arch. "And some doors have been waiting for us all along. Together, the three of you stepped beneath the ancient stone arch, without knowing that on the other side, The first sunrise ever dreamed was still shining. The first sunrise. As you stepped through the ancient stone arch, the world became completely silent. Not even your footsteps could be heard. For a brief moment, there was only light. Soft, golden, peaceful light. Then, the landscape slowly appeared around you. You found yourself standing on the edge of a wide meadow. Every blade of grass shimmered like crystal. Tiny drops of morning dew rested on each leaf, glowing with colors you had never seen before. Above, the sky was unlike any sky on Earth. The horizon was painted with endless shades of gold, brown, lavender, and pale blue. It looked as though sunrise had paused, choosing never to become day. The little boy stared upward. His eyes grew wider. "I remember," he whispered. "I used to dream about this place." Mr. Lumen smiled gently. "This is the first sunrise. Not the first sunrise of Earth, but the very first sunrise ever imagined by a sleeping heart." As he spoke, a warm breeze drifted across the meadow. With it came hundreds of tiny birds. They were no larger than your hand. Their feathers sparkled like liquid sunlight. Instead of singing, they hummed a gentle melody, the same lullaby you had heard earlier. The little boy slowly smiled. "My mother, she used to hum that song." A quiet silence followed. It wasn't sadness, it was remembrance, as though a forgotten door inside his heart had opened just a little. The crystal lantern in your hands suddenly glowed brighter. A thin beam of light stretched across the meadow. It stopped at a small wooden bench beneath a flowering tree. An old man sat there peacefully. His clothes were simple, a pale cream robe, bare feet resting on the soft grass. Long white hair moved gently in the breeze. His eyes remained closed. Yet, the moment you approached, he smiled. "I've been waiting." His voice was calm, like rain falling softly on a quiet morning. Mr. Lumen bowed respectfully. "The keeper of the morning sky." The old man opened his eyes. They reflected the colors of dawn itself. He looked first at the little boy, then at you. Finally, his gaze rested on the crystal lantern. "It has chosen well." The little boy stepped forward. "Do you know me?" The keeper nodded slowly. "I know every child who has forgotten a piece of the morning." The boy lowered his head. "I can't remember the sky." "You don't need to remember it." The keeper smiled warmly. "You only need to feel it again." He gently raised one hand. Instantly, the birds circled high into the glowing sky. Thousands of tiny feathers floated down around you. Each feather became a small memory. A child laughing while chasing butterflies. A family watching the sunrise together. The smell of fresh rain. Warm pancakes on a quiet morning. The sound of birds outside an open window. Simple moments. Beautiful moments. The little boy watched them one by one. Then, without warning, a single tear rolled down his cheek. "I remember. My mother always opened the curtains before I woke up. So the first thing I saw was the morning sky." The keeper smiled. "Exactly." The crystal lantern became brighter than ever before. Its light wrapped gently around the little boy. Not blinding, only warm, comforting. Slowly, the emptiness inside his eyes disappeared. The reflection of a beautiful sunrise returned. For the first time, his eyes looked alive. Mr. Lumen quietly closed his own eyes for a moment. Another forgotten dream. had found its way home. But before anyone could speak, the keeper's peaceful expression changed. He looked toward the eastern horizon. A small shadow moved across the glowing sky. It wasn't a bird. It wasn't a cloud. It was something much larger. Something drifting silently through the dawn. The bird stopped humming. The breeze faded. Even the endless sunrise seemed to grow still. The keeper stood up slowly. His calm smile remained, but his voice became almost a whisper. It has finally awakened. You look toward the distant shadow. What is it? The keeper answered without taking his eyes off the horizon. It is the Dream Eater. It does not steal dreams. It steals the memories that lead people back to them. The little boy instinctively held your hand. The crystal lantern flickered once. Then, far away in the golden sky, two enormous glowing eyes slowly opened. They were watching. Not the keeper, not Mr. Lumen. They were watching you, the gentle giant in the sky. The enormous glowing eyes remained perfectly still, watching, waiting. The little boy tightened his grip on your hand. Even the crystal lantern seemed to dim for a brief moment. Yet, the keeper of the morning sky did not move. He simply smiled. There is no need to be afraid, he said softly. The Dream Eater has been misunderstood for a very long time. You looked at him in surprise. It isn't dangerous? The keeper slowly shook his head. No. It has never hunted dreamers. It only gathers the dreams that people abandon forever. The great shadow drifted closer, slowly, gracefully, until its true shape appeared. It wasn't a monster. It was enormous, larger than a mountain. Its body looked as though it had been woven from clouds and starlight. Long silver wings stretched silently across the glowing sky. Its eyes, the same glowing eyes that had first seemed frightening, were filled only with quiet sadness. The giant creature circled once above the valley. As it passed overhead, thousands of tiny golden lights gently fell from its wings. Each light floated peacefully to the ground. The keeper reached out and caught one in his hand. This, he whispered, is a forgotten dream. Inside the tiny light, you saw a young girl painting a picture beneath an apple tree. For just a moment, the image smiled. Then it slowly faded. What happened? You asked. The keeper looked toward the sky. She grew older. She believed she no longer had time to paint. So her dream became too heavy to carry. The glowing light quietly disappeared into the grass. The giant continued its silent journey. Everywhere it flew. More forgotten dreams drifted gently toward the earth. Some became tiny flowers. Some became stars. Some simply dissolved into warm morning light. The little boy looked up. So, it isn't stealing dreams? Mr. Lumen smiled. No. It protects them. One day, if someone remembers their forgotten dream, the Dream Eater returns it. The little boy's face brightened. So it's helping people. It always has. The giant slowly descended. Its enormous wings folded peacefully beside the valley. Although it was unimaginably large, it moved with incredible gentleness. It lowered its great head toward the keeper. Then, toward you. Its glowing eyes reflected the crystal lantern in your hands. For a long moment, neither of you moved. Finally, the creature closed its eyes. A deep, warm, gentle sound echoed through the valley. Not a roar, more like a peaceful sigh after a long journey. The crystal lantern suddenly shone brighter than ever before. Its light reached toward the giant's forehead. There, hidden beneath silver clouds, a tiny golden symbol appeared. The same symbol that had been engraved on the mysterious golden envelope. Mr. Lumen quietly stepped closer. So, the letter belongs to you. The giant slowly opened its eyes. A single golden feather drifted gently from one of its wings. Unlike the others, this feather did not fall. It floated directly toward you. You reached out. The feather landed softly in your hands. It felt warm, almost alive. The moment you touched it, a quiet whisper filled your heart. Not with words, but with a feeling that somewhere, someone was still waiting for a dream they had lost many years ago. The keeper smiled. The Dream Eater has chosen you. You looked up. Chosen me for what? Before he could answer, the golden feather began to glow. Tiny lines of light spread across its surface. Slowly, they formed the outline of a map. Not a map of lands, not of stars, but of dreams. One place, far beyond the valley, began shining brighter than all the others. Mr. Lumen looked at the glowing map. I know that place. His voice became softer than ever. The city of sleeping clocks. The keeper nodded. That is where your journey truly begins. The giant gently spread its wings once more. A warm breeze filled the valley. Thousands of forgotten dreams rose into the sky together, like tiny lanterns floating toward the stars. The little boy smiled as he watched them disappear. Then he looked at you. Do you think someone is waiting for us there? Before anyone could answer, the golden map changed. A new message appeared across its glowing surface. Arrive before the last clock falls silent. The feather trembled gently, and somewhere, far beyond the endless sunrise, a single ancient clock began to ring. The city of sleeping clocks. The sound of the distant clock echoed only once. Yet its gentle chime seemed to travel across the entire dreamlands. The golden feather in your hand slowly dimmed, but the glowing map remained. A winding path stretched across mountains of silver mist, past rivers that shimmered like liquid moonlight, until it stopped at a place marked by a single symbol, a clock without hands. Mr. Lumen studied the map for a long moment. The city of sleeping clocks, he whispered. I haven't visited it for many centuries. The little boy looked up at him. Why? Mr. Lumen smiled softly. Because time rests there. The clocks do not count hours. They count dreams. The keeper of the morning sky nodded in agreement. And when the last clock becomes silent, a dream disappears forever. A peaceful silence settled over the valley. The Dream Eater gently lowered its great head once more. It seemed to be saying goodbye. You carefully placed the golden feather inside your pocket. The crystal lantern glowed in response, as though it approved. The keeper walked toward a small stone well hidden beneath the flowering tree. The water inside wasn't clear. It shimmered with tiny stars. He filled a small silver flask, then handed it to you. This is morning light. If the path ever grows too dark, only one drop will be enough. You thanked him quietly. The little boy waved goodbye. So, will we see you again? The keeper's eyes twinkled. In every sunrise. With that, the great dream eater spread its enormous wings. A warm breeze swept across the valley. Thousands of glowing feathers rose into the sky and surrounded you for just a moment. When they drifted away, the valley had disappeared. You found yourself standing once again on the silver path. Mr. Lumen walked ahead. The little boy skipped happily beside you. Something had changed. His eyes now reflected the colors of dawn. The emptiness was gone. As the journey continued, the scenery slowly transformed. The silver grass faded away. In its place appeared fields of tiny clocks, thousands upon thousands of them. Some rested among the flowers. Others hung from low branches. Some floated gently in the air. None of them ticked loudly. Instead, each made the softest heartbeat-like sound. Tick, pause, tick, pause. The rhythm felt strangely comforting. "What are these?" the little boy asked. Mr. Lumen answered without slowing his pace. "Every time someone falls asleep with hope in their heart, a new clock begins to tick. And when hope is forgotten, the clock falls asleep." You walked through the peaceful field. Some clocks shone brightly, others barely moved. One tiny clock suddenly stopped. Its gentle ticking faded into silence. Before you could ask why, a small white butterfly landed on it. The clock immediately bloomed into a glowing white flower. The little boy smiled. "It became a flower." Mr. Lumen nodded. "Nothing beautiful is ever truly lost. It simply changes." Hours seemed to pass, or perhaps only minutes. In the dreamlands, time never hurried. At last, the silver path climbed a gentle hill. From its summit, you saw it, the city of sleeping clocks. It stretched farther than the eye could see. Elegant stone towers reached toward the stars. Every rooftop held an enormous clock. Some were round, some square, some carved from crystal, others from silver and moonstone. But something felt wrong. Nearly every clock had stopped. Their hands rested motionless. The city itself was silent. No bells, no footsteps, no voices, only stillness. The little boy's smile faded. "It feels lonely." Mr. Lumen looked toward the tallest tower in the center of the city. Its great clock was still moving, very slowly. Tick, tick, tick. He took a slow breath. "That's the last clock. If it stops..." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. As you entered the quiet streets, you noticed something extraordinary. Hundreds of people were peacefully asleep. Some rested on wooden benches, some beneath flowering trees, some beside tiny cafes with warm lanterns still glowing. They looked completely peaceful, almost as though they were waiting for someone to wake them. Yet none of them moved, not even once. The little boy whispered, "Why won't they wake up?" Before Mr. Lumen could answer, a gentle voice echoed through the empty city. "You finally came." You turned toward the sound. Standing beneath the great clock tower was a young girl dressed in a pale silver cloak. She couldn't have been older than 12. In her hands, she carried a small clock made of crystal. Unlike every other clock in the city, hers was still ticking. Slowly, steadily. As she looked directly at you, she smiled, not with relief, but with recognition. "I've been waiting for the one carrying the crystal lantern." Then her expression became serious. She looked toward the great tower above. "The last clock is running out of dreams." The girl who guarded the last clock. The girl stood quietly beneath the great clock tower. The crystal clock in her hands continued its gentle rhythm. Tick, pause, tick. Unlike the silent clocks surrounding it, this one was still alive. Mr. Lumen stepped forward. It has been many years, Mira. The girl smiled warmly. You still remember my name? I remember everyone who protects a dream, Mr. Lumen replied. Mira looked at you, then at the crystal lantern you carried. The lantern has chosen wisely. She turned toward the sleeping city. Come with me. The streets were peaceful. Tiny lanterns still glowed beside every doorway. Fresh bread rested in bakery windows. Teacups sat on small wooden tables, still warm, as though their owners had only just stepped away. Yet no one moved. The little boy whispered, They look as if they're dreaming together. Mira nodded. They are. They entered a shared dream many years ago. They promised they would not wake until the last clock completed its final journey. You looked toward the enormous tower. I don't understand. Mira gently placed her hand on the crystal clock. Every dream in this city is connected. As long as the last clock keeps ticking, their dreams remain safe. But if it stops, the bridge between dreams will disappear. The group climbed the winding staircase inside the tower. The higher you climbed, the quieter everything became. There were no windows, only hundreds of clocks hanging on the walls. Some large, some tiny. Each carried a small silver plaque. Instead of numbers, every plaque held a single word: hope, wonder, courage, kindness, home. The little boy paused before one clock. Its plaque simply read, Tomorrow. It's beautiful, he whispered. Mira smiled. It belongs to someone who still believes tomorrow can be better. At last, you reached the top of the tower. The room was circular. In its center stood the last clock. It was magnificent. Its frame was carved from white stone that shimmered like moonlight. Golden vines curled around its edges. Tiny stars were embedded within its face. Yet something was wrong. Its great pendulum moved more slowly than before. Tick, tick. Each swing took longer than the last. Mr. Lumen removed the golden envelope from his satchel. The moment it appeared, the last clock glowed softly. Golden words formed across the face of the clock. A forgotten promise still remains. The message vanished almost immediately. Mira closed her eyes. So that's why. The clock isn't losing time. It's waiting. Waiting for what? You asked. For someone, she answered quietly. To remember a promise they made long ago. Just then, the crystal lantern in your hands began to shine brighter. Its light fell upon the floor. Slowly, a hidden circle of golden symbols appeared. None of you had noticed it before. The symbols started moving, like the hands of an invisible clock. Then, one symbol stopped glowing. It took the shape of a small wooden mailbox. Mr. Lumen looked surprised. The Moon Post Office. The answer is there. Before anyone could speak again, a soft laugh echoed through the tower. It wasn't Mira. It wasn't the little boy. It wasn't Mr. Lumen. The sound came from somewhere behind the great clock. Slowly, a tiny wooden door, no taller than a child, opened by itself. Warm golden light spilled into the room, and a quiet voice whispered, I've been waiting for someone to remember me. The forgotten mail carrier, The tiny wooden door remained open. A warm golden light poured into the room, soft enough to calm every heartbeat. No one spoke. The little boy stepped a little closer to you. Mr. Lumen carefully lifted his blue lantern. Mira held her crystal clock tightly. Together, the four of you walked toward the small doorway. Beyond it, a narrow staircase spiraled downward. The walls were covered with tiny glowing stars. Each star pulsed gently, as though breathing. The deeper you descended, the warmer the air became. Soon, the staircase opened into a small underground room. It was beautiful. Wooden shelves lined the walls. Hundreds of old mail bags rested neatly in the corners. Tiny silver envelopes floated peacefully through the air. Everything looked untouched, as if someone had only just left. In the center of the room stood a wooden desk. Behind it sat an elderly man. He wore a faded blue postman's coat. His white beard reached almost to his chest. A small silver cap rested on his head. He looked up, smiled kindly, and said, "I wondered how long it would take." Mr. Lumen's eyes widened. "Master Rowan?" The old man chuckled softly. "So you still remember me?" Mira looked surprised. "I thought you were only a story." Master Rowan laughed. "The best stories are simply memories that refuse to disappear." He slowly stood. Although he looked very old, his movements were steady. He picked up a worn leather mailbag hanging beside the desk. It looked ordinary. Yet the moment he touched it, hundreds of silver letters quietly circled the room. The little boy watched in amazement. "Were you a postman?" Master Rowan smiled. "I was the very first mail carrier of the Moon Post Office. Long before Mr. Lumen, long before the city of sleeping clocks. I carried dreams from one heart to another." You looked around the room. "Why are you here alone?" The old postman gently brushed dust from the desk. "Because I made one mistake." The room became silent. Mr. Lumen lowered his head respectfully. "I couldn't deliver my final letter." Master Rowan nodded. "It wasn't because I forgot. It wasn't because I was late. I simply couldn't find the dreamer." He slowly opened his leather mailbag. Inside, there was only one envelope. Unlike the golden envelope, this one was pure white. Simple, elegant, untouched by time. "There has only ever been one undelivered letter," he whispered. "And until it reaches its dreamer, the last clock cannot finish its journey." You stared at the envelope. There was no name, no address, only a tiny silver feather embossed on the front. The same feather the mysterious giant had given you. Mr. Lumen looked thoughtful. "So the Dream Eater has been protecting it all this time?" Master Rowan nodded. "It knew someone worthy would eventually arrive." The little boy stepped closer. "Can we deliver it now?" The old postman smiled. "I believe that's why you've all come." He gently placed the white envelope into your hands. The paper felt incredibly light, almost weightless. Then, something unexpected happened. A single line of silver writing slowly appeared. Not a name, just a sentence. "Deliver this to the one who still waits at the edge of the first goodbye." The words glowed for only a few seconds, then disappeared. You looked at Mr. Lumen. "What does that mean?" He took a slow breath. "I've heard those words once before. Many centuries ago." Mira looked concerned. "Is the place dangerous?" "No," Mr. Lumen answered softly. "But it is the saddest place in all the dreamlands." The little boy looked down. the edge of the first goodbye. It sounds lonely. Master Rowan walked to a small window carved into the stone wall. Outside, snow-white birds flew beneath a sky full of stars. Every dream begins with hope, he whispered, and every heart must one day learn how to say goodbye. He turned back toward you, but sometimes a goodbye is never spoken. And that is where forgotten dreams remain. At that very moment, a deep bell echoed through the tower above. Once, twice, 3 times. Mira's crystal clock suddenly slowed. Tick, tick. Mr. Lumen looked toward the ceiling. The last clock is fading faster. Master Rowan picked up his old leather mailbag for the first time in countless years. He placed it across his shoulder. Then he smiled. I think it's time for one last delivery. As the room filled with the soft glow of floating letters, the tiny door behind you slowly opened by itself. Beyond it, a long railway platform appeared, covered in silver mist, and beside the platform, an ancient train, already waiting in complete silence. The midnight dream train. The ancient train stood quietly beside the silver platform. No smoke rose from its chimney. No engine could be heard. Yet it felt alive. Its polished silver body reflected the stars like a peaceful lake. Golden lanterns hung beside every window, casting a warm glow onto the empty platform. Above the first carriage, a weathered wooden sign read, "The Midnight Dream Train." The little boy looked at it in amazement. It doesn't look real. Master Rowan smiled. It is as real as every dream you've ever believed in. Mr. Lumen gently opened the first carriage door. It made no sound. Inside, everything was calm. Soft velvet seats, warm wooden walls, shelves filled with tiny glowing books. Each window showed a different night sky. One window revealed a sky full of shooting stars. Another showed gentle snowfall. Another reflected a peaceful moon above quiet mountains. It changes for every traveler, Mr. Lumen explained. The train shows each heart the journey it needs most. The 4 of you found your seats. As soon as everyone was inside, the doors closed by themselves, without a whistle, without a jolt. The midnight dream train began to move, smoothly, silently, as if it were floating through the stars. Outside the window, the city of sleeping clocks slowly disappeared behind silver mist. Soon, the landscape transformed. Instead of forests or rivers, the train passed floating islands. Each island carried a single dream. On one island, children laughed while chasing glowing butterflies. On another, an old artist quietly painted the sunrise. Farther away, a musician played a melody that became tiny birds as it drifted into the sky. The little boy watched with wonder. Can dreams become places? Mr. Lumen nodded. When enough hearts dream the same hope, they create a world of their own. Master Rowan reached into his old mailbag. He removed a small brass pocket watch. Unlike every other clock, this one had no numbers, only a tiny moon and a tiny star. He listened carefully, then smiled. We're still on time. For what? Mira asked. The last goodbye. The words settled quietly inside the carriage. No one spoke for a while. Only the gentle rhythm of the train filled the silence. Click, glide, click, glide. Eventually, the train entered a tunnel made entirely of light. Millions of tiny memories floated around the windows. You saw birthday candles, a favorite childhood toy, the first snowfall, A warm hug, the smell of fresh rain. Simple moments, beautiful moments. Gone, but never truly lost. The little boy reached toward the glass. One memory paused beside him. It showed a woman opening bedroom curtains, allowing golden morning light to fill the room. He smiled. My mother. His voice was steady now. Not sad, only grateful. The memory drifted away, joining countless others. Master Rowan looked at him kindly. Sometimes remembering isn't about holding on. It's about smiling before letting go. The little boy nodded. I think I'm beginning to understand. The tunnel slowly faded. Ahead, a lonely station appeared. There were no buildings, no houses, no lights, only a single wooden bench beneath a giant silver tree. The train slowed gently, then stopped. The station sign carried only 3 words. First, goodbye station. No one boarded, no one stepped off. The platform was completely empty. Yet, a single white envelope floated quietly in the air. It circled once around the train, then settled gently onto the wooden bench. The white envelope you carried suddenly became warm. Silver words appeared once more. The one who waits has arrived. Mr. Lumen stood. It's time. He looked at each of you with a peaceful smile. This delivery must be made together. The carriage door opened slowly. Beyond it, the silver tree began to glow, and beneath its branches, someone was already waiting. The one who waited, beneath the silver tree. The silver tree shimmered softly beneath the endless night. Its leaves did not rustle, its branches did not sway. Yet every leaf glowed with a gentle light, as though each one held a memory that refused to fade. You stepped off the midnight dream train. Mr. Lumen followed. Then Mira, then the little boy. Finally, Master Rowan, carrying his old leather mailbag over one shoulder. The platform was silent. Only the white envelope in your hands gave off a faint, peaceful glow. Beneath the great silver tree, an old woman sat quietly on a wooden bench. She wore a pale gray shawl. Her silver hair rested neatly over her shoulders. Her eyes were closed. A small teacup sat beside her, still warm. Though no steam rose from it, she looked as though she had been waiting, not for hours, not for days, but for a lifetime. As you approached, she slowly opened her eyes. They were gentle, filled with kindness and a little sadness. She smiled the moment she saw Master Rowan. So, you finally found the way back. Master Rowan stopped walking. For the first time since meeting him, he couldn't find the words. The old woman stood slowly. I knew you would come. I just didn't know how many years it would take. The little boy looked toward Mr. Lumen. Do they know each other? Mr. Lumen nodded quietly. Long ago, before I became the postmaster, they worked together. The old woman laughed softly. He always carried everyone else's letters, but he forgot one. Master Rowan lowered his head. I never forgot. I simply couldn't find you, she smiled. I was here all along. The station became perfectly still. You looked down at the white envelope. Its soft glow had become brighter, almost as though it already knew. Its journey was ending. Master Rowan looked toward you. I believe it belongs to her. You stepped forward carefully, holding the envelope with both hands. The old woman accepted it gently. Her fingers trembled ever so slightly. She looked at the front. No name, no address, only the tiny silver feather. With a deep breath, she broke the seal. Inside, There was only one sheet of paper. No long message, no explanation, just a single handwritten sentence. "Thank you for waiting. I never stopped looking for the way back." The old woman's eyes filled with quiet tears. She smiled, not with sadness, but with peace. "I knew," she whispered. "I always knew." She folded the letter carefully, then placed it against her heart. At that very moment, a warm breeze passed through the station. The silver tree began to glow brighter than ever before. Thousands of silver leaves floated gently into the night sky. One by one, they became tiny stars, far away. A deep bell echoed across the dreamlands, once, then twice. Then a third time, Mr. Lumen looked toward the horizon. The last clock. "It's moving again." Mira smiled with relief. "The city has been waiting for this letter." Master Rowan closed his eyes. A weight he had carried for centuries had finally disappeared. The old woman reached into her pocket. She removed a tiny silver key. It was old, beautifully carved. Its handle was shaped like a crescent moon. She placed it in your hand. "I've been keeping this safe for the traveler who would finish the journey." You looked at the key. "What does it open?" She smiled gently. "The last door, the one no dreamer can find alone." Before you could ask another question, the ground beneath the silver tree began to glow. Ancient patterns of light spread across the platform. The roots slowly moved aside. Hidden beneath them, a circular stone doorway appeared. Its center shimmered like still water. The crescent-shaped key in your hand suddenly became warm. It fit perfectly into the ancient lock. Mr. Lumen took a slow breath. "I've searched for this door for longer than I can remember." The little boy looked up with excitement. "What's on the other side?" No one answered, because no one knew. You gently turned the silver key. A soft click echoed through the silent station. The stone doorway slowly opened, and beyond it, a staircase of pure starlight rose into the sky, leading to a place that had never appeared on any map of the Dreamlands. The stairway above the stars. The staircase shimmered with a quiet silver light. Each step looked as though it had been carved from a single star. There were no railings, no walls, only an endless sky stretching in every direction. You looked down. The platform beneath the silver tree was already fading into soft mist. The midnight dream train stood silently below, its lanterns glowing like tiny fireflies. Mr. Lumen smiled gently. "This path appears only once in every age, and only after the final undelivered letter finds its home." The little boy gazed upward. "Where does it lead?" Master Rowan adjusted his old mailbag. "No one knows. I've carried letters for centuries, but I've never walked this road." One by one, you began climbing. The crystal lantern in your hand shone with every step. Behind you, Mira carried her crystal clock. Its steady ticking echoed softly through the endless sky. Tick, tick, tick. For the first time since entering the Dreamlands, the rhythm sounded strong, alive. As the group climbed higher, the stars around you seemed closer. Some drifted gently past your shoulders. Others floated beside the staircase, like silent companions on the journey. The little boy reached toward one. It settled softly in his palm. Instead of burning, it felt warm, comforting. Inside the tiny star, he saw a memory. A little girl placing a paper boat into a stream. She laughed as it floated away. Then the image quietly disappeared. Mr. Lumen smiled. Every star carries one peaceful memory. The sky remembers what the world forgets. The boy carefully released the little star. It floated upward, returning to its place among countless others soon. The staircase ended before an enormous pair of white gates. They were unlike anything you had seen before. They weren't made of stone, or wood, or metal. They seemed woven from moonlight itself. Delicate silver vines curled across their surface. Tiny glowing flowers bloomed between them. At the center, a single empty keyhole waited. The crescent-shaped key in your hand began to glow. "It belongs here," Mira whispered. You slowly placed the key into the lock. It fit perfectly. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, the gates opened without a sound. Beyond them stretched an endless garden. Soft golden grass covered the ground. Crystal streams flowed quietly between white flowering trees. Hundreds of glowing butterflies drifted lazily through the air. Everything felt peaceful. Everything felt familiar. As though your heart had visited this place long before your mind ever could. Near the center of the garden stood a magnificent tree. Its branches reached higher than the clouds. Instead of leaves, thousands of tiny silver envelopes hung from every limb. Each envelope shimmered gently in the morning-colored light. Mr. Lumen stopped walking. His eyes widened. I never believed it truly existed. Master Rowan removed his cap respectfully. The tree of undelivered dreams, it is real. The little boy looked around in amazement. But I thought every dream could be delivered. Master Rowan smiled softly. Almost every dream. These are the dreams people were too afraid to follow. The songs never sung. The stories never written. The journeys never begun. A gentle breeze passed through the garden. Hundreds of silver envelopes swayed together. They made the softest sound, like distant wind chimes. Suddenly, one envelope detached itself from the great tree. It floated slowly toward you. Unlike all the others, it was sealed with blue wax, the same color as Mr. Lumen's lantern. The envelope landed gently in your hands. Golden writing slowly appeared across the front. For the next keeper. Mr. Lumen quietly stepped closer. His peaceful smile faded into thoughtful silence. I've waited a very long time to see those words. You looked up. What do they mean? Before he could answer, the great tree began glowing brighter than the stars themselves. One by one, every silver envelope lifted into the air. Thousands of forgotten dreams circled above the garden, like a galaxy of gentle lights. Then, from somewhere beyond the glowing branches, a calm voice echoed through the endless garden. The journey is almost complete, but one choice still remains. The Hall of Quiet Choices. The gentle voice faded into the glowing sky. For a long moment, no one moved. Above the great tree, thousands of silver envelopes drifted in slow circles. Each one shimmered softly, like a tiny moon. The blue-sealed envelope remained in your hands. Its surface felt warm, almost as though it held a heartbeat. Mr. Lumen looked at it quietly. I have seen many extraordinary letters, but never one addressed to the next keeper. Master Rowan smiled gently. Perhaps it has already chosen. A peaceful breeze passed through the garden. The enormous tree slowly parted its branches. Hidden behind its glowing trunk, a narrow stone path appeared. Small lanterns lined both sides. Each lantern held a different colored flame: silver, blue, gold, soft lavender. Not one flickered, not one produced smoke. The path led toward a round white building standing alone beneath the stars. Its roof resembled a full moon. Its walls shimmered like polished pearl. Above its entrance, only 3 words were carved into the stone: the Hall of Quiet Choices. The little boy whispered, "It feels important." Mr. Lumen nodded. "It is. Every keeper visits this hall only once." The great wooden doors slowly opened before anyone touched them. Inside, the hall was perfectly silent. There were no shelves, no furniture, only a circular room with 12 crystal mirrors arranged around the walls. Each mirror glowed with a different light. You stepped closer to the first one. Instead of your reflection, you saw yourself walking a quiet path beside a peaceful river. In another, you were reading stories to children beneath a giant oak tree. In another, you were delivering glowing letters through the night sky. The little boy looked into a nearby mirror. He laughed softly. "I can see myself flying with the moonbirds." Mira smiled. "They're not showing the future. They're showing possibilities." Master Rowan gently placed a hand on your shoulder. "Every dream creates another path, and every kind choice creates another dream." At the center of the hall stood a small round table. Resting upon it was an ancient silver compass. Unlike ordinary compasses, its needle did not point north. Instead, it slowly turned toward you, then stopped. The room filled with a warm, golden light. The blue-sealed envelope suddenly opened by itself. A single page floated gently into the air. Words formed slowly across the paper. "A keeper does not guide every dream. A keeper simply makes sure no dream is forgotten." As the final words appeared, the paper dissolved into tiny sparks of light. Mr. Lumen closed his eyes. "I remember reading those words when I first became the postmaster." The little boy looked confused. "Does that mean you're leaving?" Mr. Lumen smiled. "Every journey changes us. But change is not the same as goodbye." Just then, one of the 12 mirrors became brighter than all the others. Its surface rippled like calm water. Instead of showing a possibility, it showed the moon post office, the familiar wooden door, the glowing flowers, the single-handed silver clock. But something was different. The clock had stopped. Completely. Tick. No more. Silence. Mira looked alarmed. "The last clock?" Mr. Lumen shook his head gently. "No. This is older. The first clock." The room became still. Master Rowan whispered, "If the first clock has stopped, the moon post office can no longer receive new dreams." At that very moment, the crystal lantern in your hands dimmed for the first time since the journey began. Only a tiny flame remained. The little boy looked toward you. "What do we do now?" Mr. Lumen turned toward the glowing mirror. His calm voice carried the same kindness as always. "We go home." Then, the mirror slowly opened like a doorway. Beyond it, the familiar moon post office waited in complete silence. And above its roof, the moon itself had begun to fade. The silent moon post office. The doorway of light closed quietly behind you. For a moment, no one spoke. The moon post office stood exactly where you had first found it. The pale white walls still glowed beneath the fading moon. The tiny silver vines still curled around the windows. The glowing flowers still covered the ground. Yet, everything felt different. The flowers no longer swayed. The silver bell above the door remained perfectly still. Even the air itself seemed to be waiting. Mr. Lumen slowly walked toward the entrance. His footsteps echoed softly across the stone path. He gently placed his hand on the old wooden door. "This place has welcomed dreamers for longer than anyone remembers," he whispered. "I've never known it to be this quiet." The door opened with the faintest creak. Inside, the familiar warmth had disappeared. The shelves were still filled with countless letters. The lanterns still glowed. The scent of old paper and warm tea still lingered in the air. But above the entrance, the single-handed silver clock had stopped. Its hand rested between two unseen moments. Not moving, not ticking, only silence. The little boy looked up. "So this is the first clock?" Mr. Lumen nodded. "It doesn't measure time. It measures the journey of dreams." Master Rowan slowly removed his cap. "I never thought I'd see it asleep." Mira walked closer to the clock. Her crystal clock also stopped. For the first time, not a single clock in the room was moving. The silence felt endless. Then, a tiny sound broke through it. Tap. Just once, everyone looked toward the front window. A small white bird had landed outside. Its feathers glowed softly beneath the moonlight. The same bird that had once delivered the silver ribbon. This time, it carried no letter, only a single silver feather. The bird gently dropped it onto the windowsill, then flew silently into the sky. The feather drifted slowly through the open window. It floated upward, higher, until it touched the silent clock. The moment it did, a faint ripple of silver light spread across the room. The stopped hand of the first clock trembled, not enough to move, only enough to remind everyone that it was still alive. Mr. Lumen smiled gently. "It still remembers." The crystal lantern in your hands suddenly became warm. A narrow beam of light stretched across the room. It stopped before the oldest bookshelf in the entire post office. One shelf quietly slid open. Hidden behind it was a small wooden drawer. No one had noticed it before. Mr. Lumen carefully pulled it open. Inside rested a tiny music box. Simple, beautiful, carved from pale moonwood. There was no key to wind it, no handle to turn, only a tiny silver moon carved into the lid. Master Rowan whispered, "I've heard stories about this. The lullaby box." "What does it do?" the little boy asked. Mr. Lumen lifted it carefully. "They say it plays the very first lullaby ever sung, the song that taught dreams how to find sleeping hearts." You gently touched the silver moon on its lid. The music box slowly opened by itself. A soft melody floated into the air. Not loud, not dramatic, just gentle, peaceful. The same lullaby you had heard since the beginning of your journey. The birds had hummed it. The keeper of the morning sky had remembered it. The little boy's mother had once sung it. Now, it filled every corner of the moon post office. As the melody continued, the shelves of letters began glowing one by one. Silver, blue, golden. Thousands of envelopes shimmered together. Outside, the flowers gently lifted their heads once more. The moon brightened. The first clock moved. Just once. Tick. The sound echoed through every room, then again, tick. Slowly, steadily. Life returned to the Moon post office. Mr. Lumen closed his eyes with a peaceful smile. The dreams are finding their way home again. But before anyone could celebrate, the music box suddenly stopped. The room fell silent once more. Inside the open lid, new words appeared in silver light. One final letter has not yet been written. The words faded. The little boy looked around the quiet room. But if it hasn't been written yet, who is supposed to write it? Mr. Lumen looked at you. His kind eyes reflected the soft glow of the crystal lantern. Then, with the gentlest smile, he answered, "I believe only you can." The final letter. The room became perfectly still. The words spoken by Mr. Lumen lingered in the warm air. Only you can. You looked around the Moon post office. The endless shelves of glowing letters, the quiet lanterns, the silver flowers outside the windows. Everything seemed to be waiting. "But," you whispered, "I've never written a dream." Mr. Lumen smiled gently. "No one ever has. They simply write from the heart." Master Rowan walked toward an old wooden cabinet standing in the corner. Carefully, he opened its small door. Inside rested a single desk, unlike every other desk in the post office. This one held no letters, only a blank sheet of silver paper, a white feather pen, and a tiny bottle filled with liquid moonlight. "The first writing desk," Master Rowan said softly. "It has remained untouched for centuries." Mira stepped beside you. "The final letter isn't written with ink. It's written with hope." The little boy smiled. "And hope is something you already carry." You slowly sat before the ancient desk. The silver paper reflected the moonlight. It was completely blank. For several quiet moments, nothing happened. Then, the feather pen gently lifted into your hand. Without thinking, you touched its tip to the paper. Words began to appear. Not because you chose them, but because they already lived inside every dream. You wrote, "To every heart that believes a beautiful dream has been lost. Please don't stop looking. Dreams are patient. They wait quietly, even after many years. They still remember the way home. And whenever you choose hope instead of fear, a new path begins beneath the same moon." As the final sentence appeared, the silver paper began glowing. The words lifted gently from the page, turning into countless tiny stars. They floated upward through the room. Each star carried one sentence, one promise, one quiet hope. The shelves of letters shimmered together. Outside, the flowers bloomed brighter than ever before. The first clock began ticking steadily. Tick, tick, tick. Its gentle rhythm echoed throughout the dreamlands, far away. The last clock answered. Its bells rang softly across the sleeping city. Mira smiled through joyful tears. "The clocks are speaking to each other again?" Master Rowan looked toward the ceiling. "My final delivery is complete." The little boy closed his eyes. "I can see the morning sky again." At that very moment, the white bird returned. It flew gracefully through the open window. Instead of carrying a ribbon, it carried a tiny silver seal. The bird placed it gently upon the glowing page. The moment the seal touched the letter, the paper folded itself. An elegant envelope formed around it. Across the front, only 3 words appeared. To every dreamer. Mr. Lumen accepted the envelope with both hands. His smile was filled with quiet pride. "This letter," he whispered, "belongs to everyone." He carried it to the oldest shelf in the Moon post office. There, an empty space had been waiting all along. He gently placed the envelope inside. The shelf glowed with brilliant golden light. For a few peaceful seconds, every letter in the post office floated gently into the air. Thousands upon thousands of dreams circled the room, not in chaos, but in perfect harmony. The moon outside became full once again. The flowers danced in a breeze that had returned at last. Everything felt complete. Everything. Except one thing. A tiny silver bell above the front door rang softly. Once, twice, then a third time. Mr. Lumen looked toward the entrance. Someone had just arrived. He smiled knowingly. "It seems our work is never truly finished." The wooden door slowly opened. A young traveler stepped inside, looking around with the same wonder, the same curiosity, and the same quiet hope that you had carried on the very first night you found the Moon post office. The new dreamer. The young traveler stood quietly in the doorway. Moonlight rested gently upon their shoulders. They looked around the Moon post office with wide, curious eyes, just as you had on your very first night. The silver bell above the door gave one final gentle ring. Then, silence returned. The traveler spoke softly. "I don't remember how I got here." Mr. Lumen smiled. "No one ever does. They simply arrive when their heart is ready." The traveler stepped inside. The glowing flowers outside the windows swayed gently, as though welcoming an old friend. You watched from across the room. Suddenly, you realized something. Not long ago, you had been standing exactly where this traveler stood now, confused, curious, wondering if any of this was real. The little boy smiled at the newcomer. "Don't worry, I was lost too, but you'll find your way." The traveler smiled back. Somehow, those simple words made the room feel even warmer. Mr. Lumen walked toward the great shelves. He carefully picked up the silver lantern that had guided you from the very beginning. Instead of keeping it, he turned toward you. With both hands, he offered it to you. You looked surprised. "I can't take that." Mr. Lumen nodded gently. "I once said something to you. You probably didn't understand it then," he smiled. "But now you do." He placed the lantern carefully into your hands. Its blue flame immediately became brighter. The room filled with a calm, silver glow. Master Rowan laughed softly. "It has accepted its next guide." Mira smiled. "I knew it would." The little boy clapped happily. "I told you the lantern liked you." You looked toward Mr. Lumen. "Does this mean—" He finished your sentence with a peaceful smile. "It means you have learned the most important lesson. You cannot force a dream to grow. You can only help it find the light." Those words settled gently into your heart. Outside, the moon climbed a little higher. thousands of glowing envelopes drifted across the sky, each one beginning another quiet journey. Mr. Lumen walked to the old wooden desk. For the first time, he removed his midnight blue coat. He folded it neatly, then placed it upon the chair beside the first clock. Without the familiar coat, he somehow looked lighter, as though a great responsibility had finally become a peaceful memory. The first clock continued its steady rhythm. Tick, tick, tick. Its gentle sound filled every corner of the Moon post office. The young traveler looked around in amazement. So many letters. Do they all belong to someone? You smiled. Every single one. And every dream finds its moment. The words came naturally, almost as though the Moon post office itself had whispered them into your heart. Mr. Lumen quietly nodded. You've already begun. Just then, a soft golden light filled the room. The shelves gently shifted. The letters moved without making a sound. A brand new drawer slowly appeared beneath the first clock. Its polished wood looked untouched. Across its front, silver words formed one letter at a time. For future journeys. Master Rowan smiled. I've never seen that drawer before. It appears only, Mr. Lumen answered, when a new chapter begins. The crystal lantern in your hands suddenly sent a beam of light toward the young traveler. Not to choose them, not yet, only to welcome them. The traveler looked at you with hopeful eyes. Will you show me where my journey begins? You remembered your own first night, the endless questions, the quiet wonder, the fear that slowly became peace. With a gentle smile, you picked up the lantern, walked toward the familiar hallway, and softly said, "Come with me." As the two of you disappeared among the glowing shelves, Mr. Lumen remained beside the first clock. He looked out through the window, toward the endless night sky. Then, almost too quietly to hear, he whispered, "The Moon post office will always find someone kind enough to keep the dreams alive." Outside, a shooting star crossed the sky, and somewhere far away, a child peacefully smiled in their sleep, without ever knowing that a forgotten dream had just begun its journey home. Every dream finds its way home. The Moon post office was quiet once again. Not empty, not lonely, just peacefully alive. The first clock continued its gentle rhythm. Tick, tick, tick. Each sound drifted into the night, carrying new dreams toward sleeping hearts. You stood beside the shelves of glowing letters. The blue lantern rested comfortably in your hand now. Its light no longer felt unfamiliar. It felt like home. The young traveler followed a few steps behind, looking at everything with the same wonder you once had. Will I ever understand all of this? They asked softly. You smiled. Not all at once. The Moon post office never rushes anyone. It lets every answer arrive, exactly when it's needed. The traveler nodded. Somehow, that was enough. Outside, the silver flowers opened beneath the full moon. Tiny white birds flew peacefully through the garden. Each carried a glowing letter toward the horizon. Some were meant for children, some for artists, some for lonely hearts who had forgotten how to hope. None of the letters were ever late, because dreams never measured time the way people did. Mr. Lumen stood beside the first clock one last time. He gently placed his hand upon its silver frame. The clock glowed warmly, almost as though it were thanking him. He looked toward you. "There is one final thing every keeper must know." You listened carefully. He smiled. "You are not here to create dreams. You are here to protect them. Even the smallest dream can change someone's entire life." Master Rowan quietly adjusted his old mail bag. For the first time, it was completely empty. He laughed softly. "I carried letters for centuries, and today, my journey is finally complete." As he spoke, his coat shimmered with silver light. Tiny stars rose gently around him. The little boy watched with wide eyes. "Where are you going?" Master Rowan smiled kindly. "Home." His form slowly became brighter, not disappearing, simply becoming part of the moonlight itself. Within moments, he was gone. Only a single silver feather remained. It drifted gently into your hand. Mira looked up at the sky. "The stars seem brighter tonight." "They are," Mr. Lumen replied. "They're celebrating." The little boy laughed. "I think the morning sky will always remember me now." "It will," you said. "And you'll remember it too." The little boy waved goodbye, then slowly walked toward a path of golden light. With every step, he became lighter, until he finally disappeared into a beautiful sunrise waiting beyond the horizon. No sadness remained, only peace, only gratitude. The Moon post office felt warmer than ever before. The shelves were full. The flowers bloomed. The birds sang softly. The first clock ticked with quiet confidence. And then, the silver bell above the front door rang once more. A new letter appeared on the wooden counter. No bird delivered it. No one carried it inside. It simply arrived. Across the front, only one sentence was written. "For whoever needs hope tonight." You smiled, picked up the letter, and placed it gently onto the first shelf. Somewhere, far away on Earth, someone who had almost given up suddenly looked out their window. They noticed the moon, took one slow, peaceful breath, and decided to believe in tomorrow just one more time. Perhaps they would never know why. Perhaps they would never hear of the Moon post office, or of Mr. Lumen, or Mira, or the little boy who found the morning sky again. But that was never the point, because the greatest dreams do not ask to be remembered. They simply become quiet acts of kindness, passing gently from one heart to another. And if, on some peaceful night, you ever wake for just a moment and notice moonlight resting softly across your room, listen carefully. You may hear, very far away, a tiny silver bell, a gentle ticking clock, and the soft rustle of another glowing letter beginning its journey home.